So again, welcome to our webinar. Today, we're going to walk through some of the new features that we just recently launched on Planoly. My name is Riley. I have not introduced myself yet. Apologies. I am on the product marketing team at Planoly, and I'm so excited to kind of give you some tips and tricks on how to use some of our new features. All right. Some reminders for this session. So we are recording this session. I know this time doesn't work for everyone. I know there were some people who were saying it was 3 a.m. their time. I'm so sorry. It's so tricky to find a time that works for everyone, but we will record the session and we will send it out via email after. So look for that in your inbox either later today or tomorrow. There's lots of ways you can participate. We definitely want this to be interactive and make sure we're answering the questions you have. So there's 3 ways that you can do that. One is if you have an account specific question, there is a QR code here. You can email us. This is a link to our contact support page. So the reason for this is because it's so tricky for me to answer like account specific questions without knowing exactly what plan you're on or what your experience looks like. So if you have anything specific to your account, make sure you email us. If you have any general feedback, excitement, more questions, just feedback on what we're talking about, feel free to use the chat box. And I love that you guys are already using that. Also, shout out to Michelle for joining us in Sydney at 3 a.m. So thank you. I hope you have some coffee and some warm coffee. I just saw that in the chat box. That's amazing. And then finally, for broader questions, getting back to that, if you have just broader questions, feel free to use the Q&A box, and I'll try and pause between each section and answer as many questions as I can. And then if there's time at the end, I definitely want to leave more questions. So lots of ways to chat with us today. Okay, so what's on our agenda? Today, we are talking all about our new multi-channel workspace. So we'll talk about what that is, how to create a workspace, how to plan and post for all of your channels, how to use the calendar, and then how to save content ideas. And then at the end, we actually will have a poll for you guys that will be kind of voting on some of the next features you want to see. Okay, so what is the multi-channel workspace? It's our newest tool that we say creators actually want to use. We partnered with creators to build this. We know that part of the content creation flow and your whole workflow for scheduling content can be so complicated. So we really want to be able to help you simplify planning, so scheduling your content, but also doing other things like organizing ideas that you can use for content inspiration, as well as collaborating with team members. I know content creators can be extremely resourceful with like screen recordings, Google Drive, etc., but we want to try and bring more things all within Planoly so that you can actually start your planning process with Planoly instead of just finishing it. So this is a tool, like I mentioned, that was built by marketers for marketers, sharing some of our early feedback. And I'm going to show you in just a second. One of our creator partners, Sydney, also posted about this on her TikTok, and we got great feedback. So this is kind of a little teaser into what we're going to talk about today.
It's a huge social media update that you probably want to know about, especially if you cross-post content to other platforms, which you should be doing. So this is my Planoly dashboard, and instead of having a video planner just for TikTok, this is now a multi-channel workspace. Watch this. When I add a video, I can have my video right here and then select all the places that I want it to go out and write different captions for each and set different dates for when they'll post. So instead of taking each post and scheduling it out on all the different platforms, you can just take that one post and make it go everywhere all at once. If you haven't started cross-posting content the easy way, you need to, because it's going to save you so much time. So head to the top of my profile and use this code right here. It'll give you 30% off a subscription. But this is what I use and love, and every time they make a new update, I get so excited. So definitely go take advantage of this.
Yay! So hopefully that was a good teaser. We love Sydney, and again, she was actually one of our advisors who helped us kind of determine what some of the features are. We are still working with her today, and she's kind of helping guide us on new things. So this is kind of just the beginning. So I also want to mention that these are the features we have today, but there's more coming every couple weeks.
It's a huge...
All right. So first, let's talk about how to access the multi-channel workspace. So from the account switcher at the top of your Planoly dashboard, you'll be able to add a new multi-channel workspace. This is for existing users. So if you already have a Planoly account today and you're like, how do I get into this new multi-channel workspace? Go to the web dashboard, click on the account switcher, and then add a new multi-channel workspace. If you are a brand new user to Planoly or considering joining Planoly, number one, we have a free 7-day trial. Number two, when you're in that onboarding flow, you will see an option to create a new workspace. So same thing, it'll land you on the dashboard. I do want to mention that we still have our Instagram planning workspace as well as our Pinterest planning workspace. So those are not going away. Those are still there for you to use if you just want to focus on one channel. But as you saw from Sydney's video, repurposing content is getting so big. So we wanted to create a space where you could plan across all of your channels easily in one place. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a quick video of exactly what I am talking about. Okay, so if you're in the works or you're in Planoly, you'll click on that drop down and you'll click add multi-channel workspace. You'll be able to name it whatever you want. So maybe the name of the brand, etc. And then you'll be able to add all of your channels from there. So once you click create, you'll land on a new Planoly workspace. You'll see at the top all of the channels. So that's where you'll actually be able to opt in to the different channels you want to plan for. Okay. I'm going to pause. Are there any, I see some questions in the Q&A box. Are there any questions specifically about the workspace? Let's see. Can you add Google My Business as a posting channel in the multi-channel workspace? That is not one we have today, actually. That is a great question. We don't have that, but maybe something we could add in the future if that's something that everyone is really excited about. For cross-posting, is it possible to send content to different platforms on a different time? The answer is yes. So you would be able to schedule that piece of content for each channel. I'll show you that piece in just a second, but to answer it, you can have everything default to the same date and time, or you can customize it by channel. Okay, can you add clients to give them view to their accounts? Yes, you can add clients. I'm also looking at chat. I'm going back and forth. Yes, you can also add clients to view. You can invite them as team members. So depending on your Planoly plan, you'll have users on your account, or you can add them. Every plan is customizable. So they'll actually be able to log in. And when you add them, you can pick which workspaces they have access to, and they'll be able to go in and see all of your content, your drafts, etc. It's a great way to get them to preview content or anything like that. Let's see what else. What is the cost to include the multi-channel workspace to your account? Great question. So right now we do have a free plan with very limited features. So you can actually try out the workspace and upload a limited amount of content. We also do have that free 7-day trial. So it really kind of just depends on what you're looking for there, but I think it's always great to try it out and then kind of see if it fits for you. But again, free plan and then free 7-day trial. And then the plans kind of range in price anywhere from like $13 a month to $30 a month. So it really just depends on what you're trying to do. What about audio? Sometimes I run into problems finding the songs on Instagram that I have on TikTok. Great question. So unfortunately, audio today is not available for auto posting via Instagram, TikTok. None of those allow us to send the audio with the video. So if you have a sound, you would have to have it as part of the video and upload it into Planoly. One other option is to link the sound in when you're planning, and then we have a flow, and I'll show you that in a second, where you can get reminded to post. And with that flow, we will link the sound URL with it so you can find it easily when you're scheduling. Okay, I'm going to move on. I know there's still a couple questions I haven't answered yet, but I will definitely try and get back to them. Just want to keep us moving on new things too. Okay, so now we're going to get into how exactly to plan your content for every single channel. So as I mentioned, once you're on the workspace, you'll see the little channel bubbles, we call them, at the top. So you want to make sure any channel you want to plan for is in color, not grayed out. One really important note, right now, our workspace, the multi-channel workspace, has auto posting for TikTok. We have other channels coming soon, but the only channel that has auto posting right now is TikTok. The other channels, you can still plan for them. And we have a really great flow that will send you a reminder notification from the mobile app, help you copy and paste everything over when it's time to schedule. But in this workspace, TikTok is the only channel available for auto posting at this time. And again, more channels are coming very, very soon. So just wanted to mention that because I know auto posting is a huge factor in kind of saving you time with your workflow. Okay, so now we're going to walk through the whole flow of how to actually create a new post and plan it for all of your channels. Okay, so at the top, you're going to click that new post button. From there, you'll be taken to a new scheduling page, which is where you'll be able to see all of your channels in a single view. So right at the top, you'll be able to select which channels you want to plan for. So in this case, I'm going to plan for TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest, but I could select all of them if I wanted. I can drag and drop my media into each of the channels, as well as add the captions. And like I mentioned earlier, we do have a place for TikTok to add the sound URL so that you could link that and then find it very easily if you were manually posting your content. So as you'll see, I'm just kind of showing you that you can drag and drop or add media in different ways into the platform. For each channel, you can also determine if it's a grid post, a reel, a story, all of the different types of content. So slowly I will add all of that content in, and then I can draft different captions for each channel, as well as add hashtags, anything like that. So dragging it in, if I drag this in as a Facebook page post and want to change it to a reel, it may give me a warning to make sure that I do want to change the type of content that I'm posting, which is fine. And then I can just make sure that it's the right content. So in this case, I want to make sure it is a video since it's a Facebook reel. For Pinterest, we also support video pins and image pins. Auto posting for Pinterest is also definitely in the pipeline. So I just saw that question come through. Right now, if you wanted to auto post to Pinterest, you can do that in our Pinterest specific place, but it's not available in our multi-channel space yet. Okay, so as I mentioned at the top, you can select a date and time, and that will automatically give all of your pieces of content the same date and time, but you can always go into a specific channel and change that date and time for any channel. It could be the same day at a different time, a week later, whatever is your preference. You'll also be able to see all of the channels in one view. I am going to pause really quickly and show you. So right now, this has been another piece that I want to clarify. You'll see the reminder notification on. So right now I'm scheduling everything as a reminder. For TikTok, you'll see this little toggle. If you toggle that on, that's going to turn on auto posting for TikTok versus reminder notification. And the other channels, as I mentioned today, are just reminder notification. And to remind you of what reminder notification means, it means that at that date and time, you'll get a push notification from the Planoly app telling you that it's time to post, and then you'll jump into the Planoly app, and it's really easy to just copy and paste your caption. It'll download the media onto your phone as the most recent thing and add it to that platform. So it's a pretty quick process. You don't have to scroll and find the content again or anything like that. So it's a great way to still use the platform. You can preview what your content looks like in this view, but you can also for TikTok preview on the right-hand side. Again, I'm going to slow it down. This little eye icon will show you actually how the TikTok video will look when it's on TikTok, which I think is great because I know with all the buttons and the captions, sometimes text gets cut off or you don't realize that something isn't showing where you want it to be. So this new preview functionality for TikTok is really great to be able to make sure the video is what you want it to be. We also are going to be adding previews for other channels, but right now TikTok is the channel where you can actually see the preview of the content. And then once you're done, you'll be able to click either save it as a draft or schedule it. So you may not be done or think that you might want to tweak the caption later. You can always save it as a draft, or you can click the schedule button and that will actually schedule it for that date and time. And that is how to actually plan your post. Okay, I'm sure there's more questions, so let me jump in to the Q&A box and see what is going on. Okay. For Instagram Reels, are we able to set up reel covers? So today, no, we do not have the ability to add a Reels covers. That's something we're looking into. I do want to flag that if you are adding covers, Instagram doesn't allow that content to be auto posted. So that would have to be a reminder notification. Another option there is to go ahead and schedule it to auto post in our Instagram planning space. And then you can always add the cover later once it's already live and like edit it in Instagram. So that's another option. How far ahead can you plan out? Great question. I think it's unlimited. So yeah, you can plan out. I know we have different users plan out, the next week, the next month. It really just depends. And I know right now with trends coming and going, it's hard to plan further out, but I've seen a lot of people plan out their evergreen content for the next few months and then fill it in and sprinkle it in with trends as needed. Let's see. Can we track changes if a client wants to make edits, but you want to see what they change or suggest changing? That's not something we have today. So yeah, the question is like around like if you had a team member in there, can you see what they change? Not something we have today, but definitely we're looking at like all the ways to collaborate within Planoly because we know that's a huge pain point and we want to add some things for that for sure. Will there still be the 3 suggested times like there is on the calendar view? We don't have the suggested times. Like I think maybe you're referring to the best times to post. That is an Instagram planning feature in that workspace, but we are trying to get a lot of the features that are in that Instagram space over into the multi-channel workspace. So it's good to know that that's something you're using today because we want to make sure and get some of those features over there. That would be the most helpful. When are the auto posts and previews going to be available? Great question. I will tell you there are more channels for auto posting coming in July. So stay tuned for more channels. Again, we're trying to get all of them in there. It just takes a little bit of time to do those integrations with the APIs. And then previews as well. The plan is to get those in there as quickly as possible. So we know that's really, really valuable. If you post images, will Planoly change the size automatically? Or give you options to edit easily. So today you would have to upload into this workspace your content in the right size and format. We are looking at adding editing tools that we have in our Instagram planning space today because we know that is really valuable. All right, does Planoly sync with Trello or Slack? It does not, but we have heard again that a lot of people want that. So that's another thing that's kind of on our radar. So good to know that that's a question you have. Okay, I'm going to keep going, but yes, I will try and jump back into more questions. Okie dokie. Okay, so next we're going to talk through the Planoly calendar. I feel like it's kind of a hidden gem and people don't always realize all of the cool things that are in it. Plus, we've actually made some changes to make it more visual. Kind of our roots have always been in visual planning with the grid and things like that. So we wanted to make it really visual so that you could easily use it as you're planning. Okay, so here is the calendar. One of the new things we added is you can see all the channel icons for what you've planned, as well as hover over the content to see what is planned for that day and see a quick preview of it. You can actually click in from the calendar for that content and make quick edits if you need to. Some other things on the calendar that are really exciting are that we have social events recommended. So if you are looking for content ideas, we have upcoming fun social events and holidays. We also have trending content ideas. So one thing I want to pause here and mention is that every Monday, our social team curates 3 trending sounds or videos from TikTok and Instagram. It is phenomenal. They do such a great job of things that are trending, and then they create this landing page that shows you exactly what is trending and gives you an idea of how to repurpose it. This trends feature is a paid feature, so you will have to be on a paid plan to access it. But the feedback we've gotten so far is that it's extremely valuable, saves you time from having to scroll or guess at what the trends are. So this is something each Monday you can jump in and see the new trends for the week and use that when you're planning your content. Oh no, I started the video over. Let me jump. Okay, so this is the landing page with all the trends. So you'll see what the trend actually is, as well as, I know there was a question or a comment about how it's hard to find the same audio and video on each channel. So this actually has a button to save the audio and for TikTok and Reels where there is audio for both. As you can see in that last example, there's not always audio on both, but these will link you directly to those platforms so you can find the audio quickly. And then we have an area around like how to actually apply this video to your brand. And then below that, every month we actually add new evergreen content ideas as well. So those are things, again, you could kind of sprinkle in between the trending content. Awesome. Some other things you can do with the calendar, you can actually add notes to the calendar. So if you have a reminder of something upcoming that you want to visually see on the calendar, you can add a note. You can actually select a date and then actually make it recurring, either weekly, monthly, annually, as well as change the color of the note on your calendar to make it easy to find. So these are different options for creating a note. And once you create the note, click save, it'll automatically show on your calendar. One last thing I want to mention is that in order to see all these different trends and social events, you do need to check your settings and make sure that you have all of those enabled. This is also where we promote webinars, so it's always great to have those on as well. You can also change the day and week or day of the week that your calendar starts. So if you want Monday to be the first day of the week versus Sunday, you can always change that. So there's lots of ways to customize the calendar to really meet your needs. Okay. Questions about the calendar. Let's see. Is there any way to have the Planoly calendar integrate with Asana or one of those tools? This is another question we have been getting a lot. So thank you for asking. It's not something that's available today. Again, it's definitely something we're looking into. We know that the workflow is so complex on like, is it in a draft mode? Is it waiting for approval? So those are things we want to actually build within Planoly so that it's easier to see all of that and track the status of things. Okay, let's see. Can you duplicate posts once they're on your calendar? We cannot duplicate posts today, but that is another thing. And I feel like a broken, but I promise it really is coming. That's something else on the roadmap that I know is coming in the short term, is the ability to like pretty quickly just copy and paste your post so you can see it again. Let's see what else. Sorry, I'm trying to jump back and forth between the chat and the Q&A and make sure I answer all of your questions. Can you show how to do the notes again, please? Yes, let me jump back really quick. So I'll just kind of highlight over it. So there's the add the note button is at the top right part of the calendar on web. So you'll just need to click on that button, fill in all the details and click save, and then that note will appear on your calendar. Let's see what else. I think those are most. Can you elaborate on social sets and why you would need more than one? Great question. So the way social sets work today from our pricing. So if anyone is not familiar with our pricing on Planoly, you can go to planoly.com/pricing to look at it. But for our different plans, we have different amounts of social sets. So what we consider a social set is like a group of channels. So one channel for each, I don't know how to say this. There's 7 channels. You can have one channel linked for each of those 7 into a social set. So most plans come with one social set, which means you can plan one channel, one account per channel. So that is kind of the way our sets work. You can add on additional sets. So let's say you wanted to plan 2 different TikToks. You would have 2 social sets, and that actually gives you 14 channels to plan because you have 7. But that's kind of the way our pricing works today, is based off of the social set. And then for each social set, you get the workspace. Sorry, I don't know if I answered that very well, but social sets are hard to explain. So I'm glad you asked that question. Let's see. How do you filter out the calendar for different clients? Good question. So the calendar view will be by workspace. So using that top left account switcher to jump from one workspace to another, each calendar will be different. So if you had one client with one workspace, they wouldn't see any of your scheduled content for a different workspace. They would only see it for their workspace. Is there a way I could auto post on Instagram? Great question. So today in our Instagram planning space, we have auto posting. And so if you are just wanting to auto post for Instagram, definitely recommend you check that out. We are adding auto posting for Instagram into this workspace. Again, it just takes a little bit of time because of all the integration and the API that our engineering team has to build out. The multi-channel workspace is included in the plans. Great question. So yes, you can access the multi-channel workspace on any plan. But again, just keep in mind that if you're on a free plan, there are limited features in terms of how much content you can upload, what features you have access to. So just want to make sure you're aware that even though you have access to this space, there are some limits on what you can do if you're on a free version. So again, I recommend the free trial so that you can actually see what you're going to use and kind of know if it's a good fit for you. Let's see. Auto posting. I see a comment about auto posting for business accounts. So it's so tricky. So TikTok actually allows auto posting for any account type. So that's the way we have it set up today. If you are on a personal account or a business account with TikTok, you can use auto posting. We have auto posting today for business accounts for Instagram, but Instagram is in the process of updating their API to allow creators to auto post too. So we are working with Instagram to make sure that we can get that API set up so that you can actually auto post as a business account or a creator with Instagram. It's just not quite done yet, but that is coming soon. So I wanted to mention that. Let's see. Will auto posting stories for Instagram be available on the app? Yes, that is also coming. We know that that's something that Instagram also recently released. So they're making lots of really exciting updates. So we're working closely with them to just get those APIs set up so that you can also auto post stories. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I know I'm not getting to all of them, but want to keep us moving. And then I think there's going to be lots of time at the end to answer more questions. Okay. The last piece is around keeping track of all of your ideas in one place. So we have this ideas manager within the multi-channel workspace where you can actually kind of create this like inspiration board of things you might want to repurpose or create for your own brand. So on the left-hand side of the multi-channel workspace, you'll see the calendar, and then below that, you'll see ideas. So in order to get there, you'll click ideas, and that's where you can actually save videos and sound URLs from TikTok into Planoly to kind of use as inspiration or repurpose for your own brand. So let's check quickly. So the first thing I'm going to show you is actually how to save an idea while you're scrolling TikTok into Planoly. So we actually have an integration with TikTok where you can share a video or a sound URL with Planoly from the TikTok app. And we know no matter what, you're going to be spending time scrolling, trying to find a trend. So hopefully this is like a quick hack that can like get your ideas into one place for you to view later. So again, while you're scrolling, you might stumble upon something that inspires you. Once you find something, you can click the share button, and then you'll be able to actually find Planoly and add a note to remind yourself of why you're saving this. So in this case, I really liked the background sound. I saved this video so I could reuse this sound for another video. We get a lot of feedback that people are using TikTok folders to do the same thing, which makes sense. I think that's a great way to organize your content as well. But what I do like about being able to save it into Planoly is, one, you can actually add a note so you're not wondering like, why did I save this? I don't remember. It was midnight and I should have been asleep. I don't remember why I saved this. Or two, so that when you're ready to plan, everything's in one place. So if you're on Planoly trying to figure out what am I scheduling my content this week, you can actually just go to that ideas tab all in one place and find some content to easily repurpose. So that's the mobile side of actually saving an idea. Now we're going to jump into like kind of what this looks like on the website. So as I mentioned, you'll click on that ideas tab on the left side. Once you get there, that's where you'll have the option to import a URL. So you can add a TikTok sound or a TikTok video URL, as well as a note to refer back to, again, to remind yourself, like, why did I save this? So this one is a CapCut template that I want to reuse. Once I have that, I'll click create an idea. and then it will be added to my ideas. You'll easily be able to click from your idea to TikTok to see like, okay, what is this, or replay the sound, or make sure you remember what it is. It's all linked together. And then in theory, you could take that sound URL, add it to your new post, and actually finish planning your content that way. So that is our ideas manager. Any questions about saving ideas? Let's see. Where can I see the best times to post for Instagram? Best times to post for Instagram is part of our Instagram planning workspace. So you can get there by also using that little drop down in the top left corner and going to add an Instagram planner. From there, you'll be able to set up your account. Best times to post does have some limitations. Right now, it does require a business account, and you have to have, I believe, at least 100 followers. But then from there, it'll start to give you recommended times of when your audience is most likely on Instagram. How do you add a post to LinkedIn? So for that one, again, it would be a reminder post for now. But going back, let me jump back really quick to, let me just pause actually on the screen because it'll show you. You want to make sure that you have LinkedIn selected as a channel at the top in your channel bubbles, as we call them. And then when you click on that new post experience, you'll see all those bubbles that you've selected at the top, and you just want to make sure that you have LinkedIn on there. And then you'll be able to plan a post, get a reminder, and copy and paste it into LinkedIn. Can I add saving ideas from Instagram? So yes, we actually it's kind of in the beta phases, release the ability to save other links in our ideas manager. So if you have something from TikTok today that you want to save, you actually can add that URL in. We are also adding new kinds of ideas that can be saved. So that's coming soon. But yeah, you can actually add a URL for Instagram today as well. Okay, what else? Let's see. Filter out analytic reports for different workspaces so that clients see just the reporting. Good question. So yeah, the question is around like analytics. Today, we have analytics in our Instagram planning space, but we don't have it yet in our multi-channel workspace. That is another thing that we are wanting to add in there. Yeah, doing quick reports, being able to share performance. We know those are really important things to share with clients. Today, we don't have that, so you'd have to jump into each channel and kind of look at the analytics on that side. Let's see. For first-time user of TikTok, is it a good idea to use Planoly for rookies? Always a good idea to use Planoly, number one. But number two, I would say, yes, I think, TikTok is overwhelming. And I think some of the things, obviously I'm biased, but that Planoly can help you do is, again, like find those trends really quickly so that you know what type of content you should be promoting or posting. As well as having auto posting for TikTok. I think it's a great way to schedule some of your evergreen content. And then obviously you're going to have trends or other videos pop up that you may not want to schedule in advance. So it's a great way to kind of stay organized, get some inspiration, and really start growing your business on TikTok. Let's see, what else? Can we tag products? So we have product tagging on our Instagram planning space today, but not something that we have in our multi-channel space, since product tagging is a little bit more limited. So I would recommend if that is really important to you, using our Instagram planning space. Okay, when you're posting a video to any platform, how do you select the frame that you want to have shown on the post? The preview image. Good question. So today, the auto posting APIs don't allow you to pick a specific part of the video to show as the preview. So that would be something you'd have to do on the platform itself. Hopefully that's something we could get in the future, but two ways to do that would be like the manual posting flow, and being able to then go in and pick it like while you're scheduling it through the platform. Or again, like edit the video after it's already live and potentially add in a cover photo there. Can you do a placements post on the multi-channel? I'm not sure I'm following that question specifically on what types of placements posts. You can definitely draft things. So if you have something that's upcoming and you're not ready to fully build it out, you could definitely like put some ideas. You don't have to have a video or an image to actually create a draft. So you could have something that just has a caption. It's kind of more like a placeholder, so that you could add the media when it's ready. Let's see, other questions. Do you have suggestions for someone who's completely new to social media? For example, which apps to use in addition to Planoly? I don't know where to begin. Number one, I know it can be so overwhelming, so you're not alone. I think one of the other resources, again, I'm biased, but we do have an awesome newsletter that kind of gives you the ins and outs of what's happening in the industry. So sign up for the Planoly newsletter. Some other tools, I think a lot of people that I talk to use like video and content editing apps. So I would definitely look into doing those. Like I know CapCut is really popular and there's some others. So I think that's another great resource. And I'm sure this community could also share more in the chat if there's other tools that they use. So I don't know who left this comment, but if anyone else has any go-to tools they're using besides Planoly, please feel free to put those in the chat so that others can see them. Let's see if there's any other questions. Does the app auto post TikToks? Yes. So we have auto posting for TikTok on the web dashboard and our mobile app. So that's something to keep in mind as well, is that you can actually auto post or schedule things to auto post on the Planoly mobile app as well. Can you schedule carousel posts? So yes, you can schedule carousel posts here and do the reminder notification flow. And especially if you're trying to post that carousel across channels. I know there's carousel posts on Facebook, Twitter, things like that. So you can actually do your carousel posts here, or you can use our Instagram planning space if you just want to do a carousel for Instagram. And in that case, you can auto post. Okay. All right, I'm going to keep going because I want to make sure we get to voting. So let me make sure I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second and put up the polls. But let me read out the questions. So we have two questions for you guys today. One is related to auto posting in the multi-channel workspace specifically. What channels do you want to see next? So I'm going to show you that poll. And then the other one is which other features would be most helpful for you. So we have a few other features that we're considering, and we want to make sure to give you what you need. So some of those features are hashtag manager, sharing previews of posts for comments or approvals. That one came up a lot. Saving more types of content ideas, AI caption generation. We know that's really big right now, as well as a link in bio tool to better monetize your services. So let me pull the polls up and give you guys a second to vote on, again, which channel you are most excited about for auto posting in the multi-channel workspace next, as well as what features you want to see next. See some Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest. It's so fun seeing these answers come in real time. It looks like Instagram right now is a clear winner on auto posting in the multi-channel workspace. And then Facebook and YouTube are kind of neck and neck after that. And then in terms of which features would be most helpful to you, it looks like right now everyone's really excited about a hashtag manager, which I know we have in our Instagram planning space today. So that would be something we would definitely want to get in there. And then the next one is AI caption generation. So that's another one it seems like everyone is really excited about. I'm going to give everyone like 30 more seconds just to make sure we capture as many people as possible. But yeah, Instagram is by far the most excited channel that everyone has. So far, nobody wants to auto post to Twitter. So if you love Twitter, make sure to vote for it. But it sounds like right now it's Instagram, then Facebook, then YouTube, then let's see, LinkedIn and Pinterest are tied. And then in terms of which feature most helpful, AI, caption generation, and hashtag manager are both tied for what everyone is most excited about being added. And then followed by sharing previews of posts for comments or approvals, and then saving more types of content ideas and a link in bio tool are tied at the end. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for answering those questions. I really appreciate it. Oh, and I can share the results so you guys can see them now. Yeah, so you'll see Instagram is a clear winner. And then down here, there's a little bit more variation, but hashtag manager, AI caption, sharing previews are kind of the top 3. Awesome. Okay. Last but not least, we are wrapping up, and I wanted to share one more screen with you guys as a reminder. I've said this a lot, but I want to remind everyone again that you can try Planoly for free. So we do offer a free 7-day trial, and that includes access to the multi-channel workspace. And then that's where you can plan all of your channels, all of your content. So you can scan this QR code to get started, or go to planoly.com/pricing, and that's where you can find out all of the information about all of our different plans, all of our features, and everything there. Let's see if there are any other questions I can answer. Okay, a question around hashtag manager. So we do have a hashtag manager in our Instagram planning space today. We are working on getting that migrated over into the multi-channel workspace. So I imagine that to come in the next couple of months. So right now that is not in the multi-channel workspace, but it is in the Instagram planning workspace. Oh, on a paid version. Yes, hashtag manager is a paid feature. So that's something you would have to be on a paid plan for Planoly to use. So let's see, there's another anonymous post. I am starting media. I have a business account on Instagram. What would be the best recommendation to use Planoly? Great question. So I think there's 2 kind of ways you could go with this. One, if you only want to focus on Instagram, I would recommend using our Instagram planning space. That gives you a lot of Instagram specific features that are really, really helpful. But I will say, and I think, Sydney mentioned this in her video, content performs so differently on every single channel. And I think that's why repurposing content across channels has become so important. So something that maybe will only get you a few views on Instagram may get you thousands of views on TikTok. So if you have the bandwidth to repurpose content, and I think Planoly does make it pretty simple, it would be helpful to use the multi-channel workspace so that you can test out other social channels and kind of find your audience in each space. So that's kind of, it really just depends on what you want to do, but I feel like that's a big trend I'm seeing in the industry right now, is just repurposing, tweaking things for each channel, but that way you kind of get the most bang for your buck, or you're spending a lot of time creating it, make sure it reaches as many people as it can. One other question I see is the IG grid preview going away eventually? No, we have our Instagram planning grid that is there today. And I know that's a really important feature for everyone using our Instagram planning workspace. So as long as that's an important feature, we are planning to keep it. So if you care about how your grid looks visually, I do think the Instagram planning space is a really good place to look and kind of get that look and feel for your grid. All right, I think that I've answered most of the questions. Yes, again, this will be recorded. We'll send this out. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more question. Will the grid come in on the multi-channel? That is another feature, yes. So we are planning to add in at some point. We are looking to see kind of how that looks. There's actually a grid view today across all of your channels. So when you have all of your content, you can actually look at it in a list view or a grid view, but that's across all of your channels. So something where we could create like filters for just Instagram, that's definitely something we're exploring for sure. Awesome. Okay, well, I think that about covers it. Thank you guys again so much for joining. Again, look for an email in the next like 24 hours or so with all this information. And we really appreciate you joining today. So I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.